Physical practice, and again went back and forth, and very excited about the progress that we continue to make. Again, like I tell you guys every time we meet, got a long way to go, but we're making progress, and little by little, things are starting to come together. Feel a lot better about where we are right now, obviously, than we did a couple of years ago. So with that, I'll go ahead and open up for questions.
Regarding the spring game, what went into Maggie Gray and Mark Scott being the guest coaches? I guess your radio guy had something to do with it.
Someone else picked them. Haas, my man Haas will take credit for that.
Your inclination right now, I know a lot of it is dependent on the health of your team, but is it to run a legitimate football game this
No, it's not going to be a legitimate football game. It's going to be a kind of a scripted scrimmage. I mean, it's going to be a scrimmage. I mean, we're going to live tackle. It's going to be ones versus ones. But it's not going to be a traditional just put the ball at the 25 and go play back and forth. We're going to control the situations, where we put the ball, the situations that we're in, to make sure we get a good work day in all areas. We want to be able to get work in the red zone. We want to get third down work. We want to get backed up work. And sometimes we just play a game, those things don't come up, and we just can't afford to miss an opportunity to get work in those situations. So it'll be a good-on-good live scrimmage. As long as everything goes smooth the rest of spring practice, that's the way it will be. And it'll just be offense versus defense. And the only thing that'll be really different is it won't be just game-like. It'll be control of where we put the ball and where we move it for different situations.
I know the format's been different this spring. How's it worked out so far, starting early, taking a week off, and so forth?
I mean, it's been fine. It's been a part of that many different times, and I think our players appreciate a little bit of a break. I mean, we couldn't control that. That's where spring break fell. We wanted our spring game, on the 14th. So there's more time to recover and a few weeks to work out still before finals to physically develop the guys. And it's just the way it worked out to have that break. But spring practice has been great. We've gotten a lot better, and got no complaints about what we've done.
Any further along, and any clarity in the quarterback competition?
No,
right now?
no. There's nothing to report. I got a bunch of guys that are competing and showing up every single day to try to get better and lead the offense and make plays. And like I've said before, I like the way they work. I like the chemistry that they've got in the room, the connection they've got with Coach McNulty, and I think they're really excited about what we're doing, and they keep trying to get better every single day. There's not going to be any clarity on the quarterback position until training camp at some point, and that's just what it is. Again, some guys have really good days, and then the next day they come back and it's not so good. So nobody's taking off and running with it, so to speak. It's just a group of guys that continue to work together and push each other, and that's what it is.
Is there anyone who, at any position, who has maybe shown you more this spring than maybe you were expecting coming in?
Oh boy, that's a good question. I mean, we've talked about Bo Melton. I'll just think offensively, Bo Melton's done a great job. Travis Vokalak has done an outstanding job this spring. Again, I can't sit here and say they've done more than what I expected, because the expectations were pretty high of those guys, of themselves, and us as a staff of them. But those two guys have really jumped out. Offensive line, Raekwon O'Neal's done a really nice job as a true freshman here early. We've talked about the quarterbacks. Both freshman quarterbacks have done a good job. Defensively, Brendan Devera has really come on at linebacker, has done a great job here this spring. CJ Onechi, again, I hate to point out any individuals like that, because I'm going to leave somebody out. But there's been a lot of individual players that have done a great job this spring. We just need more, and the depth, like I've mentioned before, continues to be a concern. But I do think just about every player has made some sort of progress, some huge, some small, but everyone's made some progress.
When you look at Bo, just in hindsight, what do you think was his biggest setback to being more of a factor last year?
True freshman. Going to college, playing college football is not easy, and he had an injury that hurt his opportunities to practice on days, and that stunted his growth and progress last fall. But it's really just about being a freshman. He hit a freshman wall with academics and football practice and tutors and workouts and all the things that go into being a freshman. It was overwhelming. Some guys can handle it better than others, and good thing is that he fought through it and came out on the other end a lot better, and is having a great spring and knows how to manage all of that right now.
We've asked you a lot about Bo, but what have you seen on some of the other receivers? Hayek, Javi, Wormley?
Wormley's done fine. Jabby's had an ankle sprain, so he's kind of been limited. He's been out there practicing. He's been limited. Eddie Lewis has been out there doing some good things. Shameen Jones has probably been the surprise of the groups. Shameen is, in my opinion, probably has had one of the best spring practices of anybody on the team. Coming out of a redshirt year, he needed a redshirt year to develop physically. He's bigger and stronger. He competes every day. He shows up with a smile on his face every day. And, really pleased with his progress. And like I said, I think he's probably had one of the best springs of anyone on the team right now.
How about the running back group? What have you seen out of them? Any separation there?
It's great competition. We've got 4 or 5 guys that are out there getting reps, whether it be with the 1s and the 2s. Jonathan Hillman's done a great job. Trey Sneed, who's been around here for a couple of years, is practicing hard. Big, strong, physical kid. Blackshear has picked up right where he left off last fall. He's had a really productive spring. We're doing a lot of things with him. I think our offensive staff has done a great job of getting 2 tailbacks on the field in different packages a lot. That'll hopefully create some problems and matchup issues for guys. It gets some of our better players, on the field. Isaiah Pacheco, a true freshman that came in early, has done a great job. Really like where he's at. I mean, he looks like a third-year player physically right now. 205 pounds, running hard. He's got to learn his assignment still, but he's a physical kid that I really like right now. You talk about guys that have surprised me. He's probably surprised me.
How much has a year of prep school benefited a kid like Eddie Lewis?
Quite a bit. He's a lot more mature right now, more serious about football. All the things that go into be a college freshman, he's gone through it. He's moved away from home, lived in a dorm, went to college classes, went to college football. All of those things a typical freshman go through. He went through them before he ever got here. So, he's just a more mature player right now and understands what the expectations are.
Has anybody stepped in at right guard yet?
Our whole interior line right now is a work in progress. It's going to be that way for a while. Kamal Seymour has been out with a surgery. He had surgery the other day on a groin thing. He'll be fine. He's walking around and out of practice. He just can't practice right now, but he'll be fine. Short-term deal. So the whole right side, but really our guards and centers, we've been rotating quite a bit. Jonah Jackson's been in there at guard and at center. Mike Maetti's been in there at center. We moved Mike Lonsdorf to left guard to get some work. But it's not just the right guard spot. It's both guard spots in the center and trying to find the right mix on the inside.
Billy Taylor, kind of a unique story. I think he arrived on August 12th, which was late.
You'd know better than me. But
that's what he said. He said he was on his way to Canada for a family trip when Tony called him.
Going to fish, and I called him to practice. Probably, what is this?
Yeah, exactly. But what did he prove in your eyes? I know he gets down there at the tackle after your long snaps, but how was he able to kind of take a stranglehold on that?
Well, I can tell you, he sure didn't impress us with his tackling ability. That wasn't what it was. It was really he was the most consistent with his snaps. The guy's just unflappable. We put him in a lot of tough situations and tried to rattle him and see how he would respond. And he just became the most consistent snapper that we had. A good velocity, great accuracy on the snaps, and tremendous consistency. And that's really what allowed him to take over and be our short and long snapper last year. And the fact that he does have a little bit of ability to run down on the punt team and at least get guys' way. Is an added benefit to his skill set. But I love Billy. Billy's, I think, an outstanding snapper, and he's had a great spring for us, and hopefully he continues to build on what he did last fall.